a big.
Well, I went back in time and I got my hair. Steelers Nation Australia headband. We'll get you some like high socks. Get you some like these shorts.
Hey,
well, you're standing up.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's like balls of fairy.
So when JJ52 says, will Raygun make the 53? No, she's cut.
If you're not going to take Ray Gun, I know a place in Western Pennsylvania where she'll fit right in. Right at the cookie table at a wedding.
She could be my second string long
Call her
snap.
Dr. Boogie or Dr. Get Down and tell her she has a PhD in Get Down. Like, play the music,
You know what? If she'd had some bling, and looked like LL Cool J and I'm gonna knock you out, she might have won.
Alrighty, Steelers Nation. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia, and also welcome back to the Steelers Dynasty podcast. Fellas, what's going on?
Tuesday, just waiting with anticipation for tomorrow. Well, who knows? I don't know. Because if it doesn't happen, if something doesn't happen tomorrow, then it'll probably go off the rails.
I think I'm done with that. I think if nothing happens tomorrow, I'm gonna just leave the story alone until he signs. But Shane, are you going down that way? Are you gonna go to the Pat McAfee show?
I'm not going. I'll be watching it, but I'll tell you this: if he doesn't sign, he's going to the Vikings. I'm pretty sure.
Could be.
You might be right.
There's been no news. So like recently, there's been no news. Like no Adam Schefter reports that there's been any more talk around it. It really has just been very quiet. And Art Rooney said that was going to happen in terms of A-Rod, and then this was leading up to something could be a possibility that people are talking about, the biggest stage of mine. You guys told me in the Black and Gold room just then that there's only one show. I thought this was a continuation of shows.
That's right.
So it's only one. Daredevil says, or retiring. You know, are you there, Bubba? It's like stuck. I think are you there? No. It could be my internet. Is my internet okay, or is it you guys' internet's?
Hey,
I don't know what's going on.
Understand. This technology is amazing because we're talking to you 1,000 kilometers away.
I know.
So I had to do some freaking math with my toes. I took my shoes off to do that.
Yeah, I guess like the little bit of bumps and bruises with the internet we just go with because it is so far away. I legit now it's like 9:08 a.m. because we lost daylight savings, so I went back. I don't know. I went back an hour, I think. I don't know. And which means that it's like 7 p.m. for you.
It was snowing
really bad. But, people don't realize that this is the only international Steelers broadcast that broadcasts on 2 different days. We're coming to you on 2 different days live. No one else can do that. No one else can claim that. Only this podcast can.
I didn't think about that till now.
Yeah, well, it's my 9th, right? It's my 9th of April. And it's your 8th, right?
Yeah.
The only podcast that comes to you from the future and from the past at the same time, giving you shit news.
Because I don't think there's anyone else out there on YouTube that does. It's only really mostly American podcasts. Britsburg Owen used to have his thing, but I don't think he had any guests on there that was from America, so it was only in the 1 time zone. So over the 2 time zones. But yeah, legit now it's like I'm waking up with a coffee. I got iced coffee in my hand.
Wow, It looks like milk.
Yeah, it is. I got like coffee and coffee and a bit of milk too.
Okay.
I'm just having like straight coffee. That's what you guys do over there. What fucks everything up? You ask for an iced coffee, they just give you straight coffee with ice, and there's no milk in it.
Yeah,
I
don't do either.
Yeah, but you go to a Starbucks, you're like, can I get an iced coffee? And it's all coffee and no bit of milk at all. I didn't know what a fucking dairy creamer was. All these weird names over there, like creamer and stuff.
Just
like I tell you, it's different language for me. It's all a different language for me. When I go to Starbucks, I'm like, I don't know what a grande is or a The middle one? I don't know.
These are just Bubba and me. We just
no. That's why I'm not saying nothing. I have no clue what he's talking about. Hey, grande to me is a nacho grande with chips and dip and salsa. That's what.
And a vente's 20 in Italian.
Yeah, I don't know what it like. I'm looking at the thing. Can I just get a small, medium, a large, and a venti? What's a venti? A large?
20 ounces.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but that even confuses me even more because when I walk up there, I'm like, "What's a venti?" And he said 20 ounces. I go, "What's 20 ounces?"
What I do is I just tell the person
beers,
with the blue hair.
20 ounce beers for me. I don't know nothing about coffee.
I tell the person with the blue hair, listen, make me the biggest cup you have.
Shane, they don't all have blue hair, mate.
Oh, they got a little bit of pink.
All right, we're getting off track already, and it's already 6 minutes in. This is how I'm so fucking over the Aaron Rodgers story, but we do got to talk about it. Let's what's gonna happen tomorrow? I legit hope that he either comes out or Aaron Rodgers is part of the show. We're not even sure if he's part of the show, but I hope that something happens where the Steelers get some news and we can kind of move on from this last end of the saga. It's gonna be a big night for Pat McAfee because he was I think he's a hometown hero for Pittsburgh, so should be a good bit of fun for them. As Bubba, your internet, you're frozen, mate. Is he gone?
Oh,
Did I kick him?
I'm right here.
Bubba, kick out.
Kick out.
like the old days. Kick out and come back in.
Okay.
Yeah. Bubba's he's frozen. But yeah, Shane, we think this is the story. Are you personally done with the story if it doesn't end tomorrow?
I've been done with it 3 days ago. I've just been in a holding pattern waiting for, I'm sick of, the Fan 93.7, which is an FM sports station here. 102.5 DVE has a second station that just does nothing but sports. They've beat this horse to death. And now, I just want to.
This horse is beat.
Yeah,
this is all we've been talking about. This is so uncanny, and it's so ridiculous. And like, we don't even have Mason Rudolph right now is our number one quarterback, and I was told our draft picks could be crazy due to the fact of if we don't sign a quarterback.
Well, we're going to get into that shortly because I'm going to bring up some top 30 things for the visits and also top 30 from last year and see who signed, because there's quite a connection from the top 30 visits who signed there before. But I just want a few more comments on this Aaron Rodgers thing. Yeah, like I said, I'm good with it until if he does or doesn't. But you guys will be doing a podcast tomorrow. I might come on, I'm not too sure. Podcast live tomorrow, like the Aaron Rodgers watch or whatever.
We're going to do it at 8 o'clock, which is an hour ahead of time, because what could happen at 8:25, he could already sign, and by 9 o'clock, we got old news.
Yeah. So I'll be in the chat.
He might not do anything.
I'll be in the chat. You guys can we just all watch it together or whatnot, see how it goes. But yeah, I think from tomorrow night it will be more to push on to the draft and stuff like that. Shano, is that to do with someone Dion's son?
Yeah, I thought, guys, we got to
hang on. I do have a bit of a. You know what's funny? I never told you guys.
Tell me you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
Wait. We're not going there. Should we go there now? You want to go there now? Because I was going to bring it up. All right. I got another picture, similar kind of picture what Shane's bringing up, and everyone in the audience like, what are they talking about? Talking about Dion's son, Shador Sanders. So there's been the rumor, or not really rumor, the fact that it's happening that that Sanders is going to.
Oh my God! I'll lose my mind.
Put it up.
Wait. So he's being a top 30 visit shortly. So that's what's going around town right now. Top 30 visit. He's going to Pittsburgh, and then I'll ask Bubba right now. Yes or no? Is it going to happen?
No. I don't want that. No.
This is another quarterback.
No. Not in the first round. No. Because then you got to deal with his dad coming to town all the time. And I couldn't deal with prime time when he was a player. I can't deal when he was an announcer, an analysis. I can't deal when he's a head coach for college. I just don't want any Sanders.
Football-wise, though. What about football-wise? And there's all the drama there.
No.
He's not worth 21?
No, I just don't think he's number one pick.
I'm going to give you my take. Here it is. He he has flashes of fantastic. He's being fantastic. Okay. And I can't really get a good read because his offensive line for the past 2 years has been hot garbage. So were the issues he had, first of all, he got the shit kicked out of him numerous times over the past 2 years, couldn't stay healthy. That's not really on him. Were the problems he had and the interceptions and just the bad plays because he had the shit knocked out of him? Or could he really play in the NFL? I don't think it's going to translate. But then again, he might be the guy. I mean, do I want to see Dion and him? The guy that does the podcast with you two absolutely wants to see him. The Steelers fan,
I don't want to see him either. Podcaster and a Steeler fan. And to get Steelers almighty questions, I think Rod Woodson was a better corner than Primetime in my day because Rod Woodson can tackle. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
There's obviously a reason why the Steelers are doing this. Maybe they do obviously find interest in him for Sanders to come to be a quarterback. Quarterback is a big thing we haven't jumped on straight away. I didn't want to have the quarterback be 21, but I do trust the organization. But yeah, this will upset a lot of people if it does happen. So welcome to Steelers Almighty. He runs a podcast as well on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
I think over like 6,000 something subs on there. Does a really good job.
Oh my.
Big B from memory. Big B. So welcome, Big B, back to the show. But yeah, like I think at this point, I think this year we can't figure out what the Steelers are going to do. Like maybe like a few years ago, they could go defensive line, they could go running back, they could go receiver, corner. I've seen like cornerback. Every different mock draft for me that I've seen by experts is something different. Jackson Dart was there as well, but that was in the news today. Yeah, thank you, Big B. That was in the news today that happened, and that Shedeur Sanders is going to the facility, and I think he's a big personality for Dion in the program he runs there with Colorado Buffaloes and that kind of stuff, and it's kind of big news, but the same kind of thing with Shane said about A-Rod. This will be fun, let alone the skill, talent, or whatever it may be. It'd be kind of fun to see.
That means if we get a quarterback in the 21st pick, that means the defensive line that we have is barely going to be able to stop the run as it is. And it's going to be a sieve that is not going to close all season long. And I am going to take my head and smash it against concrete because our run defense will be number 32 in the league. I mean, that is a major problem. And if they don't deal with that, if they have those opportunities in the draft to get that spot, if they don't get that spot, then I don't know what they're going to do. And maybe just go for the best athlete available at 21st, but not a quarterback.
Yeah, best player. That's what most people would say each year, but then Kenny Pickett obviously didn't work out. Shane's got a picture here of who's this bloke, Shane?
That's Khan, the original OU Khan. Khan!
Well, if he takes over the Enterprise, we're okay.
But we need the Steelers to take over and be aggressive with some of the draft picks, like we did with our mock draft, and do some trading up. And I think 21. I think if you get 28 and get someone in the second round or get rid of Pickens, just saying. But the Steelers did not have that kid from I can never say his name. The kid from Ohio State. They had Will Howard, but they didn't have the receiver bring in for lickies and chewies and tasties and vittles. That we know, like Tomlin likes to have these kids out to eat.
I still like the idea, though. Like at least they're entertaining the idea of improving the quarterback position, and they're getting one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, even if we disagree or don't agree. But I can't comment too much because I haven't seen him play. I've only seen like highlights.
I never have either. I'm just going off of the last name, but also too, Shannon. Even though his offense in Colorado was that bad, wouldn't he try to raise the team up a little bit though?
There were flashes. Here's the thing, guys. There were flashes of really great athleticism. He had some just really great throws. And then there were some judgment calls that made you question, well, is it because he got his bell rung like 3 plays before? I mean, that's the unknown. And I'm sure guys that talk
about question for you, Shane. Would he be a better pick than Kenny Pickett? I feel like Kenny Pickett has left us some bad taste in our mouths since
Kenny Pickett. Absolutely,
since round one.
Than Kenny Pickett. He's a better athlete. I mean, he would be better than Kenny Pickett. Would he be better than Mason Rudolph? Yes, I think he would be. But you're
eventually not coming right out of the gate, though.
I don't know. It depends on how much he can pick up the offense. I don't know how smart he is. I don't know what his Wonderlic score was. They don't reveal that. Guys in the chat, Afton, do you know if they reveal the Wonderlic score? They used to do that. And if you don't know what the Wonderlic is, I'll tell the chat. It's basically a test to see how football smart you are.
Mm. It's yeah. I think the Kenny Pickett thing has definitely left a bad taste in some of our mouths, and like we want to see the D line get some help. And there's been, mocks around getting D line, but I have seen as well getting mocks around cornerback. So I feel like
every mock draft is every
something
position
different.
There's nothing been the same. And I read today if there's no defensive lineman, those 3 defensive linemen go, we're screwed, and we're just going to take the best available athlete at 21st. And we might then if we don't have anything, then we trade down and then try to get some trade down and maybe get a second round pick. I don't know.
I wonder though if this Aaron Rodgers news is going to affect the way the Steelers draft, because if they haven't got Aaron Rodgers, will that, are they going to wait till after the draft and then sign A-Rod, or like how does it work? If A-Rod is signed tomorrow, then obviously quarterback isn't really a need, right?
No.
So this Sanders thing, and people are freaking out on the internet on either side of it, going, I can't wait till the Steelers move up and get him, or if he falls, and we don't know if other teams, the Browns might get him at number 2, or I don't know, another team out there might pick him up 9 or 10. And if we don't move up to get him, or he does fall, the Steelers go and get the best player available, which could be Sanders at 21. So I know the name might be a bit like a lot of drama, but Mike Tomlin has dealt with a lot of drama in terms of like AB and different characters over the years. So I think it'd be like, wouldn't be against it. I think it'd be kind of fun to see that Sanders come in and say hello to the Steelers, but also it's just a visit. And Tomlin does this where in 4 years' time, if Tomlin's still the coach, he'd be a free agent possibly, and then they go and get him then. Always happens. And that we got Fields and fucking Russell Wilson. So.
Let's play a game. You ready to put on your imagination hats and play a game with me?
Ready.
Okay. I'm ready. So check it out. Sanders becomes a Steeler. Okay. It's red pill, blue pill. The red pill is it goes against what the Steelers stand for, like blue collar, not that flashy, just get a lunch pail, go to work, do your business. That's it, right? The other pill brings a lot of media, a lot of eyeballs, a lot of jersey sales. Steelers get probably a better, maybe a little bit better schedule. Like, they get a better like 4:00 game instead of a 1:00 game. More money, more butts in the seats, more. What is there value to that? I mean,
they got to win?
A fan.
They'd have a quarterback and potentially maybe a franchise quarterback if they were to draft him. Like I said, I feel like I've been more. This is the busiest year I've ever had in terms of my life and stuff going on, that I really can't comment for the draft because I don't know who the fuck the players are. So that's really tough for me. But for Sanders, he had 37 TDs last year, and he is a big name. So that would be, like I said, quite fun. I'd rather Sanders than fucking Rodgers at the moment. You know what I mean? If they were to sign Rodgers tomorrow, and that then eliminates the whole thing about Sanders, go and get a young quarterback and learn the system and learn how to be a Steeler. And you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as the drama that surrounds it. It could be a bit of fun. And it could be like, oh my goodness, we got this. I'm sure there was skeptics around Patty Mahomes or, people like that, or back in the day with Big Ben. There's always us in the behind and being GM saying, he can't play, he's terrible, his dad's this. Doesn't matter what we say, but if it comes into the Steelers, I'll be happy if it does happen.
But are you to another avenue of this game that we're playing right now? Do you want jersey sales and primetime games? But we're not winning, and we're not going to be on primetime if we don't win.
That's just it.
Who cares about jersey sales if we're 3-7?
And then you're going to be drafting another quarterback.
Yeah, because that's not guaranteed. like I just think that I mean, I don't know. We won't know nothing until tomorrow with this crazy Rodgers soap opera BS. I just think if we don't get a good defensive lineman, it doesn't matter who we got, because they're going to be running the ball. We got to deal with 2 times with the Ravens, and we couldn't stop them. We couldn't stop them last year, and how are we going to stop them if we don't get any better on our defensive line? We're not.
I got 2 good comments here. One from David says we shouldn't have passed on Milton in the draft. Now a trade in New England. I think that's Joe Milton, right? He went somewhere else.
He went to the Cowboys.
The Cowboys, yeah. So that was an idea. The Steelers should have went and got him. There's an idea as well about waiting to go and get round 2, round 3 Milroe from Alabama. I think the Steelers, you know what? Maybe the options are open for absolutely everything, it feels like, because they're being connected to Dart and these Will Howard and all these quarterbacks. Not like I said, don't know who these blokes are, but I'm reading all the articles and they're all the different, ideas and opinions. And I wouldn't mind having Rudolph have a shot at this year, but it does look like he's going to be QB2. And then Steelers Almighty Big B says maybe we shouldn't be concerned of what the Steelers have been, and maybe what's a new way of kind of way to win. But it's been I think a new approach in certain ways. I thought they tried the Russell Wilson thing and Jay Fields, that didn't work out, and Kenny Pickett. But we're in this cute quarterback like who's next, and it's getting frustrating as fans. We're not getting the Browns level yet with all the jersey names. But it's definitely a frustrating process. Shane, do you want me to bring it up again?
Well, Chloe's comment deserves it. So, Chloe, con! Yeah, so Chloe.
Where was it?
Chloe says, we've been doing things differently since Omar Khan became GM, so expect the unexpected. So
I'm expecting a playoff victory, though. All this stuff has not guaranteed us any playoff wins.
Well, Bubba, let's count our blessings.
I mean, we're in the playoffs, better than some teams. Also, too, this drought of this playoff wins is getting to be. It will be very, very serious.
Well, I'm going to tell you what the picture looks like for the Steelers. You too, Mark. You ready?
I'm ready.
It's called "We're going to get ready for April," and that is the draft 2026. That is the Steelers' little carrot. That's what all the fans are looking forward to, because this year it's just going to be a wash, guys. I'm sorry, it's not. You're not going to make.
Are you saying the Steelers are like? I don't think they're not going to intentionally tank, but he's saying they won't take it as serious this year, or the personnel won't allow them to be.
They'll take it serious, but they're going to get physically, probably, hopefully. They don't get manhandled by some teams.
They're going to lose 2 games against the Ravens.
Oh, that right there is crushing.
I don't know about that.
I hope not.
I'm
not picking games right now anyway, because Lamar Jackson can go out with an ankle injury for 7 weeks.
April 8th. I'm channeling.
I hear this. This is where I kind of push back a bit. I hear this thing about getting ready for April 2026, and it's like the Steelers fans are not giving up on the season, but maybe like the perception is, well, we're going to get ready for next year. But I still think you can be competitive, and like this year they're competitive to be in the playoffs, and it just didn't work out. But we are missing that franchise quarterback, and I don't think it is a fix with Aaron Rodgers.
We have to get. I seen the thing before we came online, before we went live. There was a thing about the top 10 teams in the NFL right now that are playoff bound. One of them was, I can't believe it, without their crappy defense, was the Cincinnati Bengals was number 9. Steelers were not even in the top 10, and that's as far as they went. So the Ravens and Cincinnati, if we lose 3 divisional games, that'll be very, very rough of even getting into the wild card. We cannot.
Yeah, it's tough. They're looking to win 11, 12 games next year, because the Bengals have rough starts, and I can't stand them, but they're a good side, and they definitely would have had a big chance to win Super Bowl last year if they got in the dance, because they were playing some lights out football in terms of offense. And they
$200 million offense to the $199 defense that they have.
Yeah, so but it's hard.
Throw balls up and score.
It's hard to stop with those guys, and I think last year with Joe Burrow, kind of lucky they didn't get in, because they had Trey Hendrickson. He won the Defensive Player of the Year. He was going off. The receivers were going off, and Joe Burrow was going off on a mission, but they had a really bad start. But I don't know if the Steelers are going to, maybe teams can set their personnel up a certain way to where it's a bit of a wash season and they're waiting for 2026. I think to me a lot of confusion is just around the quarterback right now because we don't know the overall direction, and that to me is really the frustrating part.
That shouldn't be like that. Not having a quarterback right now, this whole situation should not be like that because it's never been in the 70s, 80s. In the 80s when we had no quarterbacks, when we had David Woodley, who whatever, he came back from Miami and he tried to lead us somewhere and he didn't lead us anywhere. The 90s, taking Brister and O'Donnell, and Mike Tomczak with Cordell. Like, we never had this issue where we didn't even have a quarterback. I mean, and we're going on bringing somebody back who we treated like shit. We threw him out there. We got rid of him, and we brought him back because we couldn't get anybody else because nobody else wants to come to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph, he signed the deal with the Titans and then played a few games. But yeah, I don't know if the Steelers' plan is to have maybe a fan base plan wants him to be quarterback number one or at least play games. But the Steelers probably don't want him to play QB1 in that sense. And maybe the game plan, unless like what Shane said, maybe the QB plan is Mason Rudolph the whole season and get ready for 2026. And I agree with this comment. If you've seen him in the goatee, he's looking like he's ready to fucking play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Well,
he's ready to go.
Then we just put all our chips in the poker table, all the Mason Rudolph chips, and just go in. If he gets us into the play, all he has to do is win one playoff game. That's it. Just pull the chips in. I want to see one playoff game of victory. We have not seen it. It's now 2025. We're going on since 2000.
It's been a long time. It's been since 2017, a long time but we have had the tough playoff games against the Bills in their house and also the Ravens last year. But the team itself, shut the bed like near the end of the last 5 games and one of the hardest stretches. They shut the bed. So I think that's the overall frustration for, like what Bob is saying, is we need the playoff win, we need this, but we still need the quarterback and they need a plan. And it feels like from our perspective, there is no plan. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. But
now I guess I mentioned the draft being in Pittsburgh is, how I go out and I kind of listen and kind of, hey, what's going on? People are really excited about that. That's the talk of the town. I mean, they're talking about the draft coming up, this month. But everywhere you go and on the early morning show in Pittsburgh, they're talking about next year's draft. People are Eden Park talking about next year's draft. Go down the street and get some pancakes, talking about, hey, guess what? So they're not talking about
what about this year's draft? And why isn't anybody talking about this year's draft and this season coming?
The Steelers, they're so sick of the Steelers just shitting the bed on getting a quarterback, not getting a quarterback, making a decision. They're kind of apathetic.
They just didn't have a plan after Ben, and they thought the plans that they had was going to be of grand design, and it wasn't. And I just think that they probably wanted Fields, and he wanted too much money. And once again, I'd have been okay with Justin Fields staying at Pittsburgh and going.
Here's one, fellas. Players. I saw one as well. They offered Geno Smith like a lot of money, like $85 million for an extension or whatever. And I was like, it's Geno Smith is a good quarterback. It's not a great quarterback.
Not worth $85 million.
I don't know if he's going to so I think the Steelers have done okay in terms of getting Mason Rudolph back for the $8 million deal to be QB2, and he's going to play games. Rudolph will play games for sure. But it's that next part. What stings me a bit is the Kenny Pickett. You get all into it. Everyone's bagging him out. He sucks. Got small hands. He's terrible. I'm like, no. I'll defend my quarterback and see how we go. Then it doesn't pan out. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again in terms of the Steelers reaching to get that quarterback. And then all this drama around the A-Rod stuff and will he sign tomorrow? Like, I just think the business doesn't care about our expectations or waiting around. Like they
don't care about us at all.
No, they don't. So we should all just turn it off right now because they don't care. But that's what it feels like from this perspective is like, who the fuck we watching this season? We don't know. And maybe that's why it's more in what Shane said, the town, Pittsburgh itself, and I've been there 4 times. The city is talking about the draft, and I will be there, and I've got to try and find a hotel and the flights and all that kind of stuff, but I'll be there next year for sure. And maybe that's going to be the spark, the new, I don't know, Dynasty, like your name, guys, like Steelers Dynasty podcast. And that's where it starts. And this year's a bit of a see how we go year.
But Hayward, TJ Watt, a year of nothing is a waste. So that would be a waste of their talents this year if we don't get to the playoffs. And then if we don't get to the playoffs with the defense that we have.
Some fans would not, maybe not like, but would maybe accept it and be okay with them having a bad year, though, to get a better draft pick. I think some fans would.
But then you got a TJ Watt a year older. Cam Hayward's probably going to be retired after this year. Maybe not. I don't know. But you're having the engines of the train older and older, and they're not getting any oil.
Minka's older,
Minka's older. People have been talking about trading him for some draft picks.
Well, Minka went from having 17 interceptions in the first 4 years, or 20 or whatever he had, to just having 1 or 2. So,
but you don't trade him. Do you trade him? Do you trade him for some draft picks?
You're not going to get anything for him. You owe him $22 million.
You'll get something there. There'll be a team out there. Al Davis's kid will probably be like, "Oh, here's 2 picks."
No,
I don't think you trade a Fitzpatrick at the moment.
I'm just asking.
No. His contract is set up that the Steelers would have to pay him money. No one's going to pick up that money. No one's going to pick it up.
Right.
So might as well just keep him. And
he could have an up year. He gets 3 interceptions or 4 up year.
Well, he was also, fellas, the NFL players voted him as a Pro Bowl player last year. So I think that people always see Minka as not a good player because he's not getting targeted, but that's why he's a good player.
Nobody wants to target him.
But the players love him, big shout out to Steelers Almighty, his great convo, gents here. We are jumping around a bit, but I think there's this, their overall frustration is for me, there's no quarterback right now, and it could be Rodgers tomorrow, but the team is getting older in certain senses, and the mock draft saying, do we go cornerback? I did see safety. Why don't the Steelers go out there and get another safety in this year's draft? They could go and get him in round 1 or round 3, apparently,
There's more cornerbacks that are decent this year than I haven't seen a lot of safeties. I'm not a draft guy, but I know there's a crap load of great running backs. There's a lot of good receivers. There's a few cornerbacks, but I haven't seen any just knockout, just killer safeties. We still
need a running back somehow, somewhere. I thought they would sign a veteran running back. They haven't. I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for the price to go down for a couple of them. We talked about Chubbs numerous times. Hey, if he's out there, I don't see why you couldn't. He's got probably a lot of tread on those tires. I don't know, but it just seems like the Steelers aren't doing what they need to do, and they're in disarray, and they don't know what they're doing. Because if they do not, in my mind, if they don't get a defensive lineman, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Because
they have on the roster,
they don't have anybody to stop the run. Nobody. And they're going to run. Everybody saw that playoff game against the Ravens right there. You run right at the Steelers line. They can't. Everything is disarray. And if TJ doesn't come, and TJ takes himself out in a third down play, and TJ's not 100%, if TJ's not 100%, you just run away from him anyway. I don't know.
The playoff game was
getting high.
Was frustrating because it wasn't meant to be a chill episode.
I'm hyper. I'm getting mad because this team to me should be and is on paper probably the best team in the NFL. We shoot ourselves in the foot, and we should be dominating with that defense and shutting people down and scoring 28 points, even 23, and off the leg of Boswell, kicking them field goals and winning. And, but just losing the way we did in the playoff game is the blueprint for people to beat us, and they'll just run all over us. I hope not.
Dead set. I got a question here from Roberta. Roberta says, should we bring in the receiver, I think Dion Kane, who played in the spring league? and he's leading that league. He did play with the Steelers, I think, a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember him.
There could be a possibility that they go out to the UFL. I've been watching the UFL here and there. They might bring them in, I think, after the draft. But I think where the Steelers are sitting now is like they just have to figure out this quarterback situation with Rodgers, and then if that doesn't happen, then obviously if he doesn't sign, they're going to go to the draft
but also,
and get one.
Too, for Roberta's comment, why do you want to sign people that we already signed a couple of years ago when you can get receivers that are free agents that are younger that probably are better players?
And you can get them on a rookie contract.
Yeah, if you get him for the draft, the Steelers will probably find a receiver for the draft. Definitely.
And free agents. They'll sign a ton. Hey, look, they signed Beanie Bishop in as a free agent. Look at the productivity he had.
Whoa. Speaking of Beanie Bishop, Bubble, we're going to do a bit of a segue here because I want to talk about some of the yeah, there you go. Some of the Steelers top 30 visits, and I want to go through some names this year. Okay. According to Yahoo, apparently there's been, this was April 8th, they have had top 30 visits they allowed. Yeah, they got 21 out of 30 players. And for the wide receivers, they've done 4 so far. Noel, Williams, Higgins, Golden. Defensive line for Bubba's voicing his opinion very loud, and I really respect it because I want to see it too. They got 5 so far, right? Visits with I don't know these blokes here. Pigs from Ole Miss, Yaha Black from Iowa, Farmer from Florida State, Roberts from SMU, and Caldwell from Oregon. So that's the defensive line. Quarterbacks have got Show and Dart, and they have the other bloke there being Sanders. Running back 6. They brought in 6 of them so far.
There's a lot of good running backs, boys.
Yeah. I want to read some names out, Shane. You can help me out because you know draft more than I do. I've got Giddens from Kansas State. Do you know who Giddens is?
He's good. Yeah, I've seen him play ball.
He's fast, isn't he? Isn't he fast?
He's fast and he's just a strong running back. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I think he's just 6 foot. He's not like ginormous.
Well, that's fine with me. Fast and power is good.
I've also got here Giddens. I've got Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. I've got Tootin from Virginia Tech. Gordon from Oklahoma State. Jaden Blue from Texas. That's via Alex Azora. Caleb Johnson. So the Steelers have brought in 6 running backs. So that's one of their needs. Is that the running back is a position where they have to fucking fill. It needs to happen. So look out for that in the draft. Cornerback, they've got 2 there. Come to the Steelers for visits. Safety is 1. Edge is 1. And on the offensive side, they've gone more defense. They've got only 1 offensive line, 1 tight end, and a kicker with Ben Sol. So maybe they bring in the kicker to try and make.
They just need to give him a little bit of practice at training camp, keep that leg. But we've got a field goal kicker that is going to probably go in the Hall of Fame.
Chris Boswell has to. He's going to pass. Who was the bloke that you guys grew up watching? Anderson, right?
Oh,
he's got the most points. Yeah, Chris Boswell. He's close. He's like 2 or 3 seasons away from passing all-time Steelers points record.
Because as a punter, you got the dude from your country coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back,
and you still
on the mend of his injury.
You need Waitman still there too to be competitive.
I liked Waitman last year too. Man.
I do too. Well. So I hate to see anybody lose their job to injury, and that was a brutal injury that he sustained. But also too, one is younger than the other.
Well, they could be in camp. They could maybe trade one of them. I don't know. But yeah, I think give a shout out to Waitman because he played pretty well.
He did.
Played pretty well last year in terms of average and coffin corner punts and stuff like that. So, fellas, that's the 2025. And this is the reason why I'm doing this, right? I've done most of it, and we're basing things on position and need and stuff like that. In 2024, do you know how many players, and I'm just going off what the Google AI, how many players signed with the Steelers that were top 30 visits?
Ooh, give me guess. Percentage?
Just players like number, not a percentage like the number players.
I'm
pretty sure it's true.
I'll go 1.
6.
Well, I think Shane's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So they signed Troy Fautanu. They signed Peyton Wilson. These are all visits for the Steelers. Mason McCormick, defensive line Logan Lee, which I think he'll be coming back from injury as well.
Yeah, you will.
And then local visits had Zach Frazier and Beanie Bishop. So these names are the top 30 visits, and that's why I wanted to start the show with Sanders because it could be a possibility that they go and get this bloke. He's coming in for a reason, you know?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Maybe for some wings and some pierogies. I'm hoping that's it. I'll be so mad. I mean, when we have our draft, I don't want to bust nothing up, but I will be very, very angry.
I don't know. You did say, Bobby, you haven't seen him play too much, so you might be mad. But the minute he throws, it'd be like me with Rodgers. The minute he throws a TD, I'll be like, let's go.
I know, but I'd rather just see him go with if they're not signing Rodgers, just go with Mason as your number one quarterback. Get a defensive lineman, and then in the third round, if you're going to get rid of Pickens, maybe you don't because Mason Rudolph will have 3 weapons with Freiermuth, Metcalf, and Pickens to go down the field with Jalen Warren out of the backfield, but you still need a running back, and you get him in the third round.
You want team football, not individual identity.
Football. Yeah, I want a team football because I still see us being competitive. I see us getting into the playoffs, but we need a playoff victory. It's a drought. I need water on the desert. I just want to drink some water to parch my playoff dryness in my mouth. That's all I want.
Yeah, for what I'm hearing is you want team football. You don't want the Aaron Rodgers drama or the Sanders possible drama as well. You know, but I'd be okay if Sanders came in because it's the contract is a 4-year contract, and I would hope the Steelers would have a plan for that. They would definitely have a plan. You'd think they have a plan for that. But yeah, if you're just going to go with Rudolph, I'm happy with that too. I think we just need to know. The fan base just needs to know. That's the troubling part.
This is the bad part.
But here's the thing: last year Sanders would have been a late 2nd round pick. It may be a 3rd round pick.
And now he's talks of number 2, 3, 4. You know, the very top.
Somebody will take him before the Steelers.
We hope.
Somebody will take him before the 21st pick. Somebody will. Somebody will mess something up in that draft where, something will happen.
Good point from Mike. I would support him if we draft him. I would rather we take a DL and running back and a day 3 quarterback. That's true as well. Day 3 quarterback means
Mike, I love you, Mike. I don't know who you are, but I love what you're saying.
But it's the same with Jet Officers too. Got to root for whoever we draft. That's why this year should be really fun.
I will, and I do, but we've got 3 weeks. But this quarterback, so it's like as the world turns. It's like General Hospital. Oh, does Aaron Rodgers come in? Find out on next episode. Like it's BS.
Wait. It's like find out next week. You know, in those shows that they don't never eat anything. They never take a piss. They never do anything. And it's like they're just always standing.
Yeah, weird. It's like the old Batman TV show. Same bat time, same bat channel. Will Batman and Robin get out of the Joker's pit? Watch next week. It's the same thing as our quarterback situation.
So I thought something fell on me. You just never know in Australia, man.
Well, you never know.
Things everywhere.
I heard on today when I was in my car, somebody robbed a bank over in your country with a boomerang.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I was like, oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
They caught him, though. I think they caught him.
What, the guy with the boomerang?
Yeah, the robber. He robbed
I wouldn't really take that too seriously if the guy,
give me all your money or I'm going to throw my boomerang.
I must have been under his shirt. Was it like a gun under his shirt like this?
Maybe,
like that?
Maybe he had a gun. I don't know. I just thought that was funny today.
Yeah, you guys think it's like Mad Max for us out here.
I do. You guys getting gas. Well, it's probably you're like trying to find a quarterback over here, you know.
Yep.
Oh, isn't the Razor boomerang? That's a scooter, isn't it?
That's a kid scooter.
Yeah. I always think of the scooters, and it always reminds me of the minute I think of a scooter, it reminds me of ankle pain straight away. Like, have you ever been hit with a scooter in the ankle? It hurts.
No,
I got ran over by a golf cart once.
Oh, there you go.
It hurts.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it hurts.
Holy dooly. I kind of like that idea too. Rudolph playing the villain, coming back to the Steelers. Look what you got now. I'm the guy mentality. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy if that does happen. The Steelers go that direction, play team football. They build the DL. They go and get a quarterback around, day 3. They go and get the running back, and then the whole smoke screen and Rodgers thing was never happening. They were never getting Sanders, and they moved with Rudolph. But what the Steelers might do could just be
saved a lot of money. They saved a lot of money.
And that would go into Shane's theory of this year is just how it plays out, and then you get ready for 2026. The big draft, you go and sign the quarterback, and you make it a big spectacle, and then there's a big, big year for Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Okay, well, let me ask you, because I know we probably said this on the show. They have all those picks going into 2026. They got 3 picks from Fields, from Dan Moore, all those picks. Okay, so in 2026 in Pittsburgh, they could, put all those picks in some kind of package, move up in the draft, and take take the franchise quarterback then. Those 3 compensatory picks, plus you move up, maybe trade somebody and you give them picks to move up and get a franchise quarterback in 2026.
They keep talking about the idea of getting Arch Manning and
you gotta shit the bed, and I don't see a shit in the bed.
Or you got to use your picks to trade up to get
10,
Manning, right?
Top 10 pick.
He's apparently the scouting report for NFL draft buzz. Arch Manning is the number 1 overall in 2026 draft. So that would be a crazy move.
We ain't losing every game. We're not losing every game.
Yeah, but like you said, you'd use the package the draft picks to move up.
You'd have to trade a big star too, and you probably have to give him a 2027 number 1 pick. I mean, you'd have to formulate some kind of trade that's going to be enticing for us to get the number. We ain't having number 1 pick since Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, well, that's the
1971, 54 years ago.
That's the idea of the quarterback rankings, and for the 2026 draft is Manning, Nico Lamaleva, Drew Ola, Sellers, and these blokes. You know what's tough? I don't know these blokes, let alone the guys who are in 2025.
I have no idea who you're talking about. But also too, that's nothing's guaranteed. But if we get a top franchise quarterback and we in the top 10, I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be Manning. But we'd have to lose every game, and we'd have to trade everything under the sun to get him, and it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, this is how we get this point of like because the only quarterback we have now is Mason Rudolph. So I don't know that's a bad thing, but
and Skylar Thompson. Skylar.
Yeah. I think out of all the teams, right, if we were to name most teams have their starting quarterback already on the roster, like there's no JJ McCarthy's for the Vikings, there's the Jets have Fields, Russell Wilson is in New York. Bills have Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Like, there's already teams who have quarterbacks, right? We're like one of the ones that does not have one at all.
Nope.
So
I mean, Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, but as the organization, Pittsburgh, they're probably not going to go. You said they did him dirty.
They did him dirty, and it's a safe pick to bring him back, and it's a safe pick. So if Mason starts and gets say 23 touchdowns and receptions and throws for 3,600 yards, that's a pretty good year for what we spent. But also too, if he gets to the playoffs and he wins a playoff game this time,
is he your guy then?
No.
Yeah, that's a good question.
He'll be the guy. He'll be the guy next season though, because they'll draft a quarterback to sit behind Mason though.
Could Mason be the plan? What happens next, Shane? What in the next few days with the Aaron Rodgers stuff? What's the next story that coming out of Pittsburgh? What happens next?
Number 1, he signs, and we stopped talking about him. That's not gonna happen. But anyways, he signs. That's the big story. And then they move on. And they sign defensive players. They sign a running back. They, in the draft, they get these guys. But he doesn't sign. You got Mason Rudolph. They're going to go for Jackson Dart. They're going to go for someone maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round that's a quarterback. I don't think they're going for Shedeur Sanders. I don't think, guys. You never know.
What about you, Bubba? What happens next? What's the next plan of attack for the Steelers in terms of sorting this out and draft prep and the Rodgers story?
Well, we shall see tomorrow night. If he comes out and slowly is the presentation and he pulls out the terrible towel, or he signs the contract on stage,
Is he going to be? Is he there? You think Rodgers is there? He's there for sure.
He'll be there. He'll be there. They're making it where it's not, and they're swerving everybody. And I guarantee this is a WWE story.
I might have to watch. You know what? I might have to watch it with you because I got to see what time I work.
Yeah, because it's on at 8 o'clock. And then if he signs, we go get a defensive lineman. We don't. And if he does sign, guys, they're not trading Pickens. They're not going to trade Pickens because they'll have two-headed receiving dragon to keep up with the Cincinnati Bengals, and we can go touchdown for touchdown with Cincinnati. We just need a running back, a young, fast, power running back. So, and we need that defensive lineman.
So yeah, I could possibly
draft picks.
You know what? I could be on tomorrow with you fellas because could be.
You're allowed to come back. You're allowed to come back on. It'd be like a boomerang.
We're going we'll have to work it out in the black and gold room after because maybe we might do another stream together because if we can watch it and see it happen, it'd be like crazy news to be live to. I'm just saying, it'd be insane. But if it doesn't happen, I'll be pissed off because it'd be like you just wasted our time.
Yep. And they've been wasting our time for the last month and a half.
Mike says if we that's good. That's a good call. If he signs, we draft. I wouldn't be right. I would be okay with that. There's some good running backs in round one.
There's good running backs you can draft in the second, third round and be okay. First round, I would get myself some sort of defensive player.
You can get a running back in the third. Get a quarterback in the fourth because we're not trading. If they sign him tomorrow, we don't need to trade anybody to get that second round pick, even though you want it, because you're going to have an offensive firepower that the Steelers haven't seen in such a long, long time. And it's not Arthur Smith's offense to be a firepower offense either.
So what is it? So this time tomorrow they'll start the show in Pittsburgh for Pat
8
McAfee,
o'clock,
right?
Pat McAfee show, 8 o'clock.
And then you reckon you had about an hour and a half. So I probably will have time. So when you guys make your show, just send me a link and I'll make mine too. I'll jump on as well because
we're gonna.
This is stuff we're waiting for. Isn't that sad? We're waiting for this shit. So sad.
It's terrible.
That's so
because
sad.
It's never happened. This has never happened before. This has never happened before. We have a number one quarterback, but is that the quarterback that's going to lead us into the 2025 season? And where we have opportunities to sign somebody. Where years ago, and it hasn't been right since Ben retired, and like I said before, I believe we did have the quarterback, but if he wouldn't have got killed, we wouldn't even be. We probably
it was around.
They wouldn't have drafted Kenny Pickett. They wouldn't have drafted Kenny Pickett at all.
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins a few years ago, right around this time. Because I'm going down to the New South Wales Pickleball Open. I always play in that one. It was around that time that when it did happen. So yeah, it's been some crazy events recently, and yeah, the Kenny Pickett thing didn't work out, and now here we sit waiting for Rodgers tomorrow, just waiting and waiting and waiting. And if he doesn't sign, or if he what if he's on stage and we're all waiting, we're listening to he's talking, but says nothing. Like he says nothing about it. Nothing. What do we do then?
All Mason Rudolph.
What is it over? Is the Aaron Rodgers saga over or just not?
I don't care whatever they do because he has had he's been playing the puppet master for the Steelers media, Steelers fans, Steelers podcasters. You know what I mean? If he doesn't want to do it, just say it. If he's going to, just do it tomorrow, even though it's going to be a good publicity stunt for Pat McAfee. If he doesn't say it tomorrow, I'm going all in with Mason Rudolph, and I'm not even going to worry about it.
That's it. But yeah, fellas, I don't know if any more you want to. No. There's tomorrow. There's the big news is, Michael. The big news is that Pat McAfee has a show in Pittsburgh, and there's been rumor or talk around this will be the best chance for Aaron Rodgers to announce that he's signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there's been a lot of quiet the last week or two that nothing has happened. So everyone's anticipating it happening, and what better time to announce on one of the biggest stages on YouTube and set records, and all the fame will come with it and publicity for Pat's show, big night out. So that would be the timing. Just makes sense to do it from an entertainer's standpoint.
And if you
what we're saying is, if it doesn't happen, for me, myself personally, I'm gonna try and move on as best I can because this is the height. This is the tip of the fucking iceberg and the mountain. And if it doesn't happen, my focus will be draft and other players, and then breaking news, something happens like that.
Well, he does love Mike Tomlin, so you know what I mean? This is his opportunity to probably play for Mike Tomlin. He has enough money. They have money. They could pay him. He has enough money.
But when in history also did we ever see someone go to the facility and then, walk away without a contract, but then about it's been 12 days or 13 days since he hasn't signed?
Wait a second. You wouldn't sit there for 6 hours unless you're talking about how you can fit into the organization, what the plans are. If those negotiations didn't go anywhere, that would have ended an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, 45 minutes into the negotiation.
He'll be there too, Gene. Gene's right.
Yeah. What if Tomlin shows up with Rodgers?
There it is.
Oh my.
That's automatic.
Holding hands.
Boswell field goal.
I'll have to I gotta make sure because I think it will be easier. We could have Pat McAfee we can't. I don't think we can show his show, but for us, I'm gonna try and watch on the TV the show because that would be more interesting to watch something happen.
Right.
Yeah,
we can't do it because of the YouTube stuff.
He does 100%. Yeah, does it? Yeah, I don't know, dude.
By 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we will know one way or another.
Roberta's right too. Roberta's right.
She's hitting out tonight.
Yeah, you know how arrogant Rodgers is because everyone expects it. He won't do it. He's just like, nah.
But that would be to do it tomorrow is such a media that would be on the X. That would be on every social media.
Everything.
Everywhere.
And also, it wins over the crowd too. It wins over Pittsburgh. Yeah, we'd be cheering for him. We'd be happy. We'd be happy. We'd be finally it's over. We'd be happy. And if he says black and gold and not black and yellow, I'm this much better liking him than I was this much before.
And if he does sign, he has a lot to prove. And then he gets us to the playoffs and win one playoff.
Then I like him. I like him this much more than this much.
I'm about the same. But if he gets us a playoff victory, I'll like him this much.
Yeah. Well, it definitely could be happening. Anything else, fellas, you want to add to the show before we come back to possibly tomorrow? Well, you guys will be live for sure. I might be joining.
I just want to say, everybody that's a Steeler fan, we had Anderson in our lineup because you did a show on him. We had him in our lineup last year. He's not new to the Steelers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That fucking pissed me off. This bloke here, Calvin Anderson.
That's why I said it.
Calvin Anderson, he was here last year, and I read the Facebook comments, and everyone was saying who, or they were saying welcome to Steeler Nation. I was like, he was here last year. He played like 11 snaps. He was on the active roster for the Ravens, but didn't get a hat, I think. But he was already here. It's on a 2-year deal. It looks like he's going to be our swing tackle, can fill in for left tackle or right tackle.
Yeah, we need
played a few games in the NFL. And I saw all the Facebook comments that are like fair weather fans saying, "Oh, welcome to the Steelers." And it's like, he was here last year, you loser. Like, pay attention to the team.
They don't. So, that's the problem.
Oh, it's crazy. And they were saying we want a quarterback, but like I think just give the guy congrats. Like say thanks in the comments. I sent him a message.
I forgot he was.
Did he say anything to you?
Nah, nothing. No.
Well, being a Steeler and playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers is a very high honor in my eyes. And if you're a Steeler, you're you know what I mean? I don't care if you play practice squad or whatever, you're still played for the Steelers.
Well, like Shane just said, he forgot he was on there, but at least he knows he was, but people still think he's brand new. It's not brand new. And I do hate the ones when someone signs, and if you're right, it's more Facebook than YouTube. Facebook, and maybe they're AI bots. When someone says who, I'm like, that's such a disrespect.
Maybe they were just calling out. Maybe they're just being an owl. Who?
Yeah, who's that?
It's a lot of owls.
But yeah, he's going to probably look to be making the team as one of the Steelers' 9 or 10 offensive linemen. But yeah, Calvin Anderson, and it wasn't Spencer. There's two Andersons. Spencer Anderson is a guard.
Spencer's good. Spencer's good at a center guard. a lot of depth in that line. Very young.
He played a bit last year too with some of the injuries and stuff like that. So he was fun to watch.
I'm okay with
the O-line's getting better, and this guy, this bloke here, another Anderson. But I just find a little bit of frustration. Do some research, take some time. He was there last year.
All you got to do is Google on your phone. It takes half a second. Oh,
Yeah, even if you don't know the whole story, you can look up parts of it and learn about, how he played or where he played and stuff like that. So, Spencer he's the other Anderson, the guard, and looks like he will be making the team next year too for the United.
He'll be the second. He's going to be the second string. He's a second string center also. So,
Dark Storm's just got here. Part of my language, F. Aaron Rodgers and his drama. Well, we're going to find it tomorrow.
Yeah, Dark Storm. It could be a Dark Storm in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to plug our show because guess what? We are.
I'll put the chat in.
And Bubba is going to give out a hat for something.
Yeah, if the people that are listening here, if you get the 350 tomorrow night during our lovely Pat McAfee show live, we will give away not this hat, but a nice Steeler hat. Hold on. Let me look.
Let me put it in the chat. So anyone who's on my Steelers show right now, you can
these are good hats.
Go and sub. All right, before we end, because we do have a few people in here, any more questions from the chat? Just ask questions to Shane or Bubba or myself, and we'll end the show that way. But yeah, Steelers. By the way, I still love your name. I think it's a great move what you guys did.
God bless you.
Shane and Bubba here. Steelers Dynasty podcast.
Oh, subscribe, Dave. Subscribe, Dave, and then we'll have it on Spin the Wheel. Make the deal tomorrow.
Hang on a minute. I got a hat too, bro. Wait a minute.
Mine's upstairs. I was wearing it today. Upstairs in my bedroom.
Yeah, if I remember to mail it, I got to give my buddy Morty a hat, and I owe him mustard.
We've all got the hat.
We all got the hats. I just got the old. Well, that hat you have in your hand is stitched, and it's $25. So I don't know how I'm going to sell.
It's very dusty.
I don't know.
I've got that too. Wait a minute. Wait. Shano. What?
That's right. I'm going to be giving away this book right here.
I've got it as well.
Brand new book. Just bought these books to give away.
I need to read it though. I'm not a reader. I need to read it.
When we hit
on my mic stand.
400.
Tunchilkin.
And when we get to when the Steelers Dynasty podcast gets to 450, I will go buy TJ Watt, Todd McFarlane figure. Those are very, very nice at the comic book store. And I will give that away at 450 because with 500, then we're 500 and then we get monetized. I don't know how that works. But
we said this, we have to stick true to it. What was it, 600 or 700? We're dressing in drag and doing a show.
That would kill your channel. Don't do that.
No,
not kill your channel, but don't do that.
No,
I'm not against drags, all right, everyone.
I'm dressed in drag, but I just
no. If we get to 600, I think we said something about like taking somebody out to eat or something.
Yeah.
You guys, they're close. Where's all this money coming from?
Well, I don't know. I hopefully work some overtime at my job would be great. Yeah.
I got to 600. I just gave a thank you, but you guys are going above and beyond.
Well,
but I can't take anyone else to dinner though in a show. It's too hard.
But also too, they can also hang out with me. At a training camp, we can make a day out of it at training camp too.
You can throw the what do you guys call it? The old pigskin around.
Well, I can't throw the old pigskin around. My arm is just, I'm old. No
good. But any questions in the chat? Otherwise, we'll start to end the show. I think we had how about a thumb wrestling contest? For the hat. Yeah, right. But any other question for Steelers or us, and we'll start to end it. But yeah, thank you for as always coming on the show. The fellas here from Steelers Dynasty podcast. And then tomorrow will be the Aaron Rodgers stuff, man. This is where
8 o'clock. We're gonna go 8 o'clock live. I already got the thumbnail ready to go. 8 o'clock live. We're gonna go have a watch along. We'll talk a whole bunch of stuff. Me and Shane. If you come on, we'll just chit chat, waiting for this announcement. And then at 9 o'clock, we're gonna keep going till 10 or 10 till whatever, because the whole show. I think it's a 2-hour show from the Pat McAfee. We'll do the whole
2-hour show. Jeez.
And then I will cut it at 9 o'clock and send it to Sports Bible because that's our website that we do for Pittsburgh, and we got to do the show. So it's never ending. Maybe
because it's a long show tomorrow. We might have the intern.
Oh, maybe
get the intern on
here. What's the little gyms? What's that? It's a little gym.
I don't know.
Like, is
I'm afraid to ask. I'm afraid to ask.
I'm afraid to ask too.
Okay, I thought you guys would have known there was a Pittsburgh.
No, I don't know. God only knows about Gene. I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, we'll end on this.
Everybody.
Great show. That was fun. Shrooms.
Oh. Yeah, we don't need those.
So even if he doesn't show up, Gene will think he's there.
Oh, maybe.
He's
dead
right
set.
there with Aaron Rodgers, thinking the same stuff.
Alrighty, fellas. So thank you, Shane. Thank you, Bubble. See you tomorrow for the Aaron Rodgers watch along, which is so sad but intriguing at the same time. I don't want to miss it, but I do want to. You know what I mean? You need to be there. We're going to see history being made in PP.
My TV is like right in front of me, so I'll see it live. Boom, right here on my TV.
Yeah, I'll come on for a bit before I go to work.
You want. You can come back after and say, "Oh, I told you so." He didn't sign, Bubba. And then
no. It's this. We're waiting for this.
We're
waiting for that. That's what we're waiting for.
Playing when they're slow dancing.
I don't know.
You smell so good, AA Ron.
Alrighty, let's get. Where's me button? Where's me other button? Thanks, Shane. Thanks, Bubba. Thanks, everyone. And we get out of here. I've lost me button. Where's me? Hang on a minute. This one. See ya.
I'll see you guys later.
Hey, Rod.
Left the light on. See you later.